This is Need for Speed. We're here on Xbox Series X. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So this is a Need for Speed reboot. I would assume it would be known as Need for Speed 2015 in some circles. It was supposed to be a fresh sort of relaunch for the series, which I guess didn't really fully pan out since they did a few relaunches for the series for the next few games that followed this one. So yeah, let's dive in and talk about this experience. What are we getting here? It's 900p, 30 FPS, auto HDR. It follows in the footsteps of Rivals, actually decreasing the resolution but increasing the, I guess you would say, quality of the experience. Like it was pushing the technology a bit further. Oh, I died from that? Oh, alright. Fair enough. As this game does have a very interesting visual aesthetic. Like, it hides its lower resolution really effectively because this game focuses on this very intriguing and also peculiar sort of merging of, I guess you would say, cinematics with gameplay, and the gameplay having like a heavy film grain effect to it. So it's kind of like a washed out mix of these aesthetics between the two, and it's kind of interesting. It honestly is. It's a little annoying because I just want to play the game and they keep putting all these really extensive like cinematics of these people chatting like they're a group of friends being racing pals or something. And I mean, it's neat. I guess maybe they were going for more like gritty underground kind of thing, but it does kind of seem like a group of buddies just having fun. Like, to me, it's a little, I don't know, cringy, but I think maybe at the time it would have been an effective storytelling perspective or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, this game is online only. It absolutely requires online multiplayer, so you're in these like hub worlds of like up to 8 players kind of driving around, and crazily, there's still people playing this, which is utterly fascinating to say the least. But then again, I was playing Rivals, which is even older than this. Like, this is like a decade old. And then Rivals was like even older, and that one had people still playing it, so I guess it makes sense. I'm just really surprised that people are still engaging with these games. I guess they would shut them down if they weren't at all. And I would imagine, since it is online only, at some point this just won't be playable. And I'm kind of wondering how long the licenses are going to last for all of this stuff, considering all of the cars, the in-game like film cinematics, which you're seeing right now, which are like, you know, they've got like Monster Energy and stuff in them, and all these brands, and it's intriguing. This is also a little bit of a shame too, because at some point this just kind of like vanishes. But I mean, these Need for Speed games, they come and they go so fast. This is where I was saying is like, that very clearly looks like not a real car that's like imposed in there as a, it's this really weird mix because it's like it's messing with my mind to a degree where it's kind of, some of it's uncanny, because I was sitting there during like an opening cinematic seeing like these cars driving, and I was like, I believe these cars aren't real, but the world is real and the people are real, but I'm like, some of these cars aren't real. Like the car she's interacting with is like a real car, and then the car I think I had over there on the right, because I'm pretty sure that's the vehicle I selected earlier, is not a real vehicle but an imposed vehicle, and it looks unrealistic. But like, there's no way to skip these cinematics at all. Like, you have to watch these, and it's like, I think it's been like 20 something minutes, maybe like a half hour of just like this really slow, you drive for 2 seconds in the game and then you watch these cinematics, and it's like, if I was really engaged or wanting to know about the story, this would be cool. I mean, the blonde-haired lady was kind of cute, and you know, the redhead was not bad either. She seems kind of fun, but it's just like, you know, it's like one of those weird like FOV kind of things that were, I think at that time. Oh, I have a hand. Didn't know I had. That's, see, again, this is what I'm saying is like, the car clearly is not physically in that environment, right? So it's very strange. Open slot. Okay. It's just kind of funny. We don't have the funds. I can't buy any new cars. No. So we've had this like FOV where it's like the first person. It's like is it Hardcore Henry or whatever, that movie where it's all in first person? And it's just like, yeah, the whole time I didn't think I was an actual person, but yeah, apparently my person has like a hand. I thought it was just a camera that people were talking into, but yeah, allegedly, I guess. There's a hand. Oh, that's funny. I thought the whole point of it was like putting you in the character, so you never know what you look like, and you're just kind of there and stuff. That's actually kind of hilarious. So yeah, it's like all the Need for Speed games, but you race around in this, I want to call it like, at the time, hyper-realistic sort of take on a city and everything like that. It's actually really interesting. Yeah, Travis. You call, I hang up on you. And then you've got like this open world thing, and it's all connected and everything like that. And then you press start, and I think that's where your map is. So you can see it's like this decently large chain of little islands and stuff like that. Burnwood. I mean, it just kind of looks like Los Angeles. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but I think that's the idea of it. And it's just like it blends together decently effective. Like, I don't know, like I've seen games that are like 1080p or less than 1080p, and they look really, really rough. But the way that they just sort of pour effects onto the screen kind of just makes it blend really nicely together. And strangely makes this age well. I'm wondering how much cleaner a higher resolution, you know, rendering of this game would actually look. I'm genuinely curious about that. But anyways, it's kind of neat just to dive in here and take a look at this and see these differing Need for Speed games. I'm kind of bumping through them like one at a time. But as per usual, you know, you've got all like the cop chases and stuff, and yeah, it's kind of neat. I think this is like the first time we're actually like free to finally go and do things, because it was just like cinematic bit after cinematic bit and the crew just like hanging out. But I think you're just supposed to do event. Like, is there any like events I can go do? Check my messages. Oh, okay. Hey yo, what's up?
I'm cruising Royal Park.
Horses for courses. Let's go do it.
Whatever, right? Who am
I think that's telling me where to go, right? I can't tell if I've chosen or not chosen it.
Let's do a run before 5-0 shows up. Peace.
Okay, now it's not showing anything on the wall. Sup, Robin? I think that was the cute blonde lady.
They're now available to purchase and race. Great.
Thanks for the details. It was a good call. Yeah, no, that's not showing me on the map where I'm supposed to go. Yes, I want to route it. Teleport. I'll just route that bad boy. There we go! I've never struggled with an in-game map for directions. This is crazy. But it's like, it's an open world racing game with multiplayer connectivity and stuff like that. It's kind of a neat concept. I would have been, maybe had I actually played this when it came out, I would have been actually really impressed by this. From like a historical standpoint too, I'm kind of really impressed by this. I mean, it's a pretty static open world, but like it's an effective backdrop that actually kind of makes you feel like you're in a real place. Like, just having played Rivals and going on to this one, the difference in like the visual aesthetic is just mind-blowingly large. Like, obviously we're getting a lower resolution here than Rivals, because Rivals was the 1080. We're down to 900p here, at least on the Xbox One side of things. But like, I don't know if I think this actually is a better visual presentation compared to that one, and it's pushing the console tech a little bit more. Obviously, early on in the gen, everybody was the big fight over like resolution of like 100p or something. It was like a mind-blowingly big detail. And Rivals before this, is that a Hot Wheels car? Whoa, was that a Hot Wheels car? You know, obviously Rivals was a big deal because it was the first to achieve 1080p parity, I believe, of a game. Now the Hot Wheels car is blazing by. I mean, who saw that coming? So this one having a bump down compared to the competitor is an interesting choice. Hot Wheels car, come back! Yeah, that's a Hot Wheels car. That's cool. Yeah, this game is doomed. The licensing on this is not gonna last forever. That is for sure. And again, with it being online only, it's probably just gonna vanish at some point, which is kind of fascinating, honestly. Maybe we'll do a goodbye thing to it someday when that point kind of comes. But what an intriguing sort of entry in the series. I guess they all sort of do this online thing now, don't they? They've kind of all moved towards that. But I think there's still like a bit of an offline component to some of them. It's just kind of funny reading the description where it's like, I think they mostly use like review stuff, like, oh, this thing said this, but then at the bottom it's just like, internet connectivity required. This is an online game. Which makes sense, they were all going in that direction, but at the same point, you know, racing games are kind of something that usually works well as being like offline too, right? What does that say? Star Bar. Oh, for a second I thought that was like a, I don't know what I was thinking. Carl's Jr. or something. I was gonna be like, oh wow. You know, you go back and do like the original Need for Speeds. I think I have a video of it on the channel. Like, Underground 2 or whatever, and they've got like Best Buys and stuff. Turn around to start the thing? This game doesn't even have the mechanic for me to be like, you know, I have to actually be looking the right way. Okay, let's do it. So yeah, you customize your car, build up a reputation, win your way, be your crew, you know, all that kind of stuff. Get the Need for Speed, you know how it goes. This is a very strange title, though, honestly, just in terms of its setup. But Rivals kind of do this, too. It's like they kind of almost hold your hand a bit too much, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't let you just kind of jump into the racing. Like, I don't know. I feel like the last two, is Unbound and Heat, kind of give you a little bit better of a launch into what's going on. They're not as pushy stuff. Like, I mean, at least they were attempting to do like a story here, so that was a little bit different. I don't know how I feel about this one. I think technology-wise it's kind of cool. I'm usually someone that's really into seeing mediums kind of merge together, like, you know, live action versus gameplay, especially when it's well done. Like, I do believe it is in this, but it's sort of just like, it's also a racing game. I would prefer to just start racing right away instead of kind of being slowed down by these cinematics. It's like you gotta kind of meld them together a little bit, if that makes sense, to make it a little bit more intriguing. So I'm kind of like, you know, knowing where the racing is and then also getting like these glimpses into the cinematic stuff. It's a neat concept. Is now the time to give me a call? I'm driving, Amy. This is dangerous to call people while they're driving. Do I have like a headset thing? It was 2015. Wasn't this the time we were really cracking down on, you know, using your phone while you're in your vehicle and stuff like that? Okay, well, I think I've clearly won this race. I'm so far ahead, it's unreal. I mean, this is definitely like a Los Angeles type area, right? Like, am I crazy? And is every single race just at night with like rain going on, or does it ever change aesthetically? Like, I'm kind of wondering what the day is like in this. Is there's actually like day racing going on? This whole game confuses me to such a high degree. Would have been funny to stream interact with this too, with all the like weird quirky stuff going on in this one. We're almost done. I thought that was straight up 7-Eleven as well. Surprised they didn't get any of the brand integrations. I think a title like Need for Speed would be able to, you know, command and get that sort of thing, eh? Certainly does show that this franchise is kind of really evolved and changed with the times. Like, they're always at least trying something different between entries, and it must do well enough each time, even though there's some times where it doesn't fully deliver, I guess, or fully hit the mark. It must do performance well enough that it kind of like keeps getting, you know, new entries, like justifying let's take another crack at it, like, you know, let's take another, like, it seems like pretty steadily, like what, every 2-3 years or something there's like at least one of these. Yeah, it's kind of wild. And I was never like super into them like I know a lot of people are, but yeah, now that I started covering them when they release, it's really quite interesting. Unlocked at level 18, okay. Uh-oh. Pull over to pay the fine? Nah, I've got a need for speed. I'm gonna evade this cop. A $55 fine? What for? For reckless endangerment of other people? Probably. Cop, cool down. Cool. It's not like Rivals where the cops are like literally something you're battling against. Am I getting like chased by like a helicopter or something? Why was there a light shining down on me? Anyways, I'm gonna check the map. And you can't pause it or anything. In case you were wondering, it just kind of keeps playing.
Yo, I guess you got something after all, huh? Yo, head over to the long hall.
Okay, let's root it. What's up, Amy? Bye, Amy. I guess we gotta turn around to get to this place. Seems weird because we haven't really done any like racing yet. We just kind of been doing like quick little mini kind of head-to-head things or like little crew racing segments. It is fascinating. Got the need for speed. It also feels a little like, I don't know what the word is. I don't want to use the word soulless, but I'm kind of like, I'm not really sure what I'm working towards or building towards. Like, it just seemed like a group of people hanging, and then, like, am I trying to unlock, like, new things or something? Like, I get it as a car game, so naturally I'm going to be getting parts and stuff, but, like, I'm not really sure what I'm building towards.
Spike, I'm telling you.
Maybe it's because I'm really rude and I just keep hanging up on everyone. That could be a thing, too. I should have paid more attention during those really long cinematic segments with people talking about being pals and hugging each other, and the one guy got kissed on the cheeks by the two ladies, and I was like, oh. And I guess I just kind of sat back, and then somebody pumped his arms up, and he was like, oh, I'm tough. And the other guys were like, that's cute, man. That's cute. That's cute, bro. I'll just be like, oh, okay. You gotta remember, it was the mid-2010s. That was the thing at the time, right? Yeah. Well, I mean, we're already getting to the mid-20s, so... Oh, time is roaring by. I mean, this is an alright sized open world. I don't know if it's necessarily mind-blowing, but visually and stuff, I think this looks really, really great. I don't know if anybody watching this is, like, super impressed by this, but it's kind of neat. Ow. Like, just from an aesthetic standpoint, like, this is probably one of the best cases of hiding a super low resolution I've seen in a video game. And I mean, they actually have like a really good setup backdrop. Like, it's probably just like a photo image in the backdrop, but like, it's super effective in its presentation. I just kind of feel like we're not really doing anything. You're just kind of driving around at night. But it does have a neat setting. Where's this? Where it's got like players you may know. I think that's kind of fascinating because I don't know if I've seen another game on Xbox actually have that sort of thing, like a recommendation setup. I believe you have to like manually go and find people. Oh, come on. There's just some regular guy in there too. He looks pretty dead inside, probably because I just hit his vehicle and I don't have insurance. Haha, sucker! It also seems like there's at least a bit of like technology or concept stuff coming from Rivals in this too, which is intriguing to me. I don't know, this is a neat game. I'm kind of curious about it. I don't know if I'm curious enough about it to like really sit here and properly sink my teeth into it fully, but I definitely am curious about this one. Yeah. This is a peculiarly interesting title, I gotta say. Oh, is it actually, it's the daytime's a-coming. I didn't know we had daytime. Have I been driving all night? Like, I must be exhausted. Remember, guys, it's unsafe to drive all day and all night. It's, you know, you get tired, you don't have the same mental strength, especially if you're, like, you know, racing and stuff. You need that, like, performance level of being, like, fully into what's going on here. Here we go. The sun is rising. I would love to see some behind-the-scenes infos on, like, combining this and, you know, gameplay and stuff. Hey, look, we're in a bar!